Welcome back, everyone, to a fresh episode of Planet Nomads. Now, I have not played this one in a while on the channel, and that's because the way I left it off, I was going to start a brand new base here, and I'll go ahead and start flying up while I talk about what happened. So, as I was working, you see how massive this base is. It is going to be extremely big, and as I was working on it, I really got burned out, so I took a break, came back after an update, and I could not interact with any of it. Like, I would fall straight through the blocks, and I could not select anything. I couldn't dismantle it, so I was going to just start having to rebuild it from scratch completely, and I kind of said, you know what, I'm just going to stop for now and wait for an update. Well, we got that update. They released an update just a few days ago called the Big Update, which, for one, they added workshop integration. I have not tested that part yet. I actually just got back to the fact that, hey, my base works again. My platform works. I actually can stand on it and interact with things. So what we're going to do is pick back up, and I'm going to start building this again. And so I have a little production station up there that does a lot of my fabrication, a lot of storage. I also have a mining operation over there producing certain things. I remember that stuff. And then you see this, I have this big base. So the way I've done this is to kind of give myself an idea of where the middle is and count things out. That's 10, starting with that corner, so like 10, 20, 30, 40 wide, and then yeah, that's 40, because I think I did 35 on it and then decided to go even further out. So that's 40, and then we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 75. So 40 by 75 blocks in dimensions. That's how big this thing is. And the reason for it to be so big is ultimately I want to have not just parking spaces for vehicles. I want to have workspaces. I want to have it where I can go and start building a vehicle just to test and have a platform for that. Because let's face it, while this is an interesting game in terms of exploration and things you find while playing the game, it's more suited as a building game. Let's just be completely honest about that. It's a building game. It's about building things. It's like Empyrean. There's a lot of focus on building, even though there is some story to it and just, you know, survival gameplay. But most people are going to focus on it for the building aspect. And now that we have workshop integration, that means hopefully a lot more on this. So even if this does not do well, even if the workshop does not grow, which it seems to be growing pretty quickly already, I will still be doing this more in my spare time anyway, just because I like this game. This is fun to me. It's a good balance of physics between this and Space Engineers, or this Empyrean and Space Engineers. This is kind of the middle ground for me because it has a focus on physics, but it's not overly focused on the realism of the physics. And Space Engineers is a little bit too overly focused on that, in my opinion. It's all, I found it to be fun to do on the story stuff, but other stuff was not fun. And then Empyrean has a lot of focus on the building aspect, but not really on the physics overall. And this does. So we're going to be going with this, and it looks like my base is still a little not level. That is one thing I had hoped would be fixed, and it did not get fixed. Apparently, my base decided to become unleveled at some point. I'm not sure how or why that even happened. I mean, if I was building it, like, that is level right there. That's how it's supposed to place, and yet somehow it still places unevenly. Apparently, sometimes when you build, even though I was building, you know, straight up from the ground, it's uneven. So we're just going to go make do with this. It might, I mean, I don't think my vehicle's going to roll as a result of it. It might make things look a little interesting when I build the structures, but I'm going to be working on getting some of these outer walls done, get the edges done, so we can start slowly building in, because I do have one problem in the middle area of all this. So in the middle of all this is land that is above the base level. So I have had to go in and slowly clear it out, and you kind of see how I did it in sort of grid like fashion, where I have like I did the different You know, here's a 10 by 10 section, and then I go in and I start clearing out everything and just build across that section. Makes it a little bit easier, but for now, because I'm actually ready to get things going again on this, I think I'm gonna leave this part for now and focus just on building the outer edges in, and then we'll worry about that. But for now, let's go ahead and I'll take you up here, show you my production setup as well as my mining setup. You see how I'm getting so many resources in order to build this, like all the plating and basic frames that I have. It takes a lot to build even what I've built so far. So let's go ahead and check that out so you can see just how I'm getting so much stuff. So I've got this. This is my generator that's powering this. And of course I've got power going all the way over here to the switch. You see all that going. These are my refineries for producing more uranium, and you see how much I have. That's enriched uranium right there, all of that piped in, along with storage here. I mean, look at that. And basically I've got the rigs. Oh, and they actually are working now where the save. Before, when I turned the titanium off, it would ignore that and still try and do that as soon as you reload the save. Now it's actually working, so the titanium's not being picked up. So basically these are just grabbing uranium. It's getting refined there, and then when this needs more power, it will pull from their reserves, and I've got some extra storage there. So I'm basically producing an endless supply of power right now, and you can see how much power I have available right now. 1,965 hours. And I think that's just counting what's currently in there, not what's in reserves, though I could be wrong on that. And this is my supplies. This is everything I've got going. You see I've got plenty of the biomass. Most of it is the stuff for building the supplies down there to make the base. And you see I've got it producing more and more basic frames. So I'm actually about to I'm gonna go ahead and take more basic frames out and free up some production space in here, because they have run out of room on me in the past where it stopped producing because I didn't have any space left. So that's basically producing that. Then I have the plating in another one. And what I've done is also, if I remember right, not that one, okay, it's these, yes. You see, I also am carrying supplies with me in this, so I can go down there and have plenty of goodies for building down there. It's not just me coming up here every time I need them, but most part it's just the other stuff beyond what I have in terms of the plating and basic frames. So this is making it go faster, but it's still very slow, tedious work. I mean, what I've done so far is hours of work getting, first off, everything set up production-wise, and then actually getting to work and placing everything down and trying to get things to line up right. I'm hoping maybe when I build some of these strut platforms over the columns to support everything, it won't lean as much. I don't know if weight has a factor on the ground level part, like if it's heavy on one side so it sinks into the ground that way. I don't know, but we will find out. But I'm very excited about having this game back in working order, where that base actually works again and I can actually use it. Now we're going to check out my production, or my mining facility over here. This is very simplified. I'm not even going to land. I'm just going to show you a little quick drive-by. But I have several extractors, several mining rigs that are mining different things, and they're powered by a generator there. And all I do is I would come over here, fill up my stockpile in the vehicle here, then transport it back over there to the production area and let it start producing more. So I've got more than enough supplies for building things. And yeah, I've just so much going on right now with this, that this is why I was going to take weeks to build out, and then the game broke on me. I mean, it broke. I could not work with this, and I just gave up. But now it's working again, so I have very high hopes for where we take this. But I'm going to go ahead and use this night to see if I can get some more progress done here, since I have a full inventory of the supplies I need, and I've got more than enough food and everything that I need as well. So I'm gonna work my way towards the edges and just get the edging completely done before I call it an end to this episode. Well, it is another wonderful day here in Planet Nomads, and I did get a little bit done, not as much as you might expect, because it was a bit shorter period of night there, but I also did have the time to build a support column here, and it's actually, this is not fast. It may look like it, but that's actually 4 blocks with another 2 blocks on each side and 1 in each corner. So that's a whole bunch of blocks there I had to put in, and then each section here in the column is 4 blocks all around. So it's not like I just put down a few blocks and that was it. That was a lot of blocks there, so it took a little bit more time, and I did go and clear the whole way around. So what I've got left now is, of course, to start building back this way, clear the big tree out. But because I know it's going to be mentioned, why do I need such a big base, even if it's just for testing designs? Well, as I was saying, I plan to build a massive, well, not massive, but a really tall tower in the middle. It's not going to be wide, it's going to be tall. It's going to be around there. It's just going to stand up nice and high, have a nice lookout, big beacon on top, all sorts of things. But the way I want it to work is I'm going to have columns to hold it up. So the underside will be open, and I'm going to have power production hanging underneath, with the first floor being all of my power production, like the refineries and such for that, and then the second floor being fabrication production. My storage plan is to at the least have maybe like little storage pods at different points, little mini towers that maybe act for storage, or have the storage hanging underneath the upper deck areas I use for vehicle storage and testing. The idea is I want to have it where eventually I will have some kind of hover vessel that, you know, could go skirting around on the water. I thought about building like a ramp off of one side, maybe. I think that'd be kind of cool, a little ramp that just drops down to the water level, and got this hover vessel deployment. But I also want to have plenty of room because I will eventually be building some kind of very large vessel. Like I want to take the idea of a mobile base and how things are done in Empyrean and do the same sort of thing here. Build a massive ship that is just a huge flying fortress of production, and just see how big I can make it and how well I can make it work. And with the fact we've got the workshop integration, I'm hoping somebody beats me to that while I'm busy working on the base. But that is basically where we're going to be at now. I'm going to be working on this, and I was looking for a story-driven game, but when I saw Planet Nomads was updated and that the update fixed the game-breaking bugs I was experiencing, I was like, I gotta play it again. I've got to at least give it another go, see how it works out. But thanks for watching, and I hope the audio turns out alright, because I did just get a new microphone. I'm still tweaking the settings for everything here in the microphone and in my recording and my editing, so hopefully the audio did not turn out too bad. So if you enjoyed the episode, be sure to hit that like button. Leave me a comment below if you have any suggestions or ideas for the base here in terms of layout and setup. And of course, hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. As always, I'm your host, Mr. Spicy. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to keep it spicy this week, and I will see you in the next video.